Welcome into my mic's there. Welcome into the Lindsey Beckham Show on this Monday afternoon, post Egg Bowl, post Lane Kiffin drama all weekend long. But we are coming to you live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. I am joined by our friend and yours, Mr. Shaun the Turk Yerkeron. He is here today to break down all things Kiffin Gate and who's a hoe? I don't know. A lot of people seem to think he is, Shaun. So I don't really have a Madison minute today, but I did have a couple of quotes that I think are pretty good. The grass ain't always greener on the other side. And when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. 601-879-0002 is the number to call in today. If you have any comments that you would like to share with us, what do you think about the Lane Kiffin drama? 601-879-4648 is the text line. If you would like to text your comments in rather than call, we would be glad to read those on air. So, Shaun, what do you think about it all?
Going to open up like that. Well, I'll tell you what, Lindsey, the SEC has officially entered chaos mode, as we've seen.
Yeah.
Y'all, good afternoon, y'all. I'm here. Lindsey actually asked me to come in on a Monday to talk football, which is something she's never, ever asked me to do. Last night she texted me. She's like, "You want to come in and talk about Lane Kiffin?" I said, "Is this?" I had to check the number because I was like, "You want to talk about football?
Are you feeling
on
okay?
The radio? You don't want to talk about parental rights or like the vaccine or something?
Miss America,
transgender people, whatever it is. Like, you want to talk about football?" So I'll absolutely come and do that.
Well, we did go to the Egg Bowl. You want to tell them about that?
We did, but before I get to that, we as everybody knows, we had one of the biggest blow-ups in Mississippi coaching history, I guess you would say. Maybe SEC history, maybe national history yesterday with Lane Kiffin. And I don't think anybody's surprised that it came from Lane Kiffin, as his history has shown.
History repeats itself.
He's kind of a drama queen, and that's been his whole life. So we all got to witness it. We all stuck by our phones all weekend. I know, Lindsey, we were driving to Diamond Head Saturday night, and Lindsey just sat there on the cell phone the entire time, checking it out.
I was like, refresh.
What time is he going to leave? What's his announcement? So I think everybody in the whole entire state was doing that this weekend. And unfortunately, we saw the events occur of yesterday. But what Lindsey was saying, we did, thanks to Clay Edwards, got us tickets for the Egg Bowl on Friday. So we went out there, had a great time. Obviously, we're both Ole Miss fans. I graduated from Ole Miss Law School. And that was my first trip to Starkville, Lindsey. And I think, Lindsey, you've never been to a game there either, right?
No. I went to the Sugar Bowl. I watched them play in that bowl game several years back in 2015. But no, I have never been to an Egg Bowl, especially. I've been to a few college games, but not an Egg Bowl, not an Ole Miss game, other than the Sugar Bowl.
Well, I have been to many Ole Miss games, but never one in Starkville. That was my first thing. First of all, everybody in Starkville was great. We did have a wonderful time. But okay, full stop on those cowbells. Like, I swear to God, I thought I was going to die. Like, I'm not kidding. It was
so annoying. State fans, come on. Y'all have to be annoyed too. It can't just be us who are annoyed. It was awful. I think my head was pounding. We actually had to get up and go walk around to get away from the ringing in our ears.
Yeah, it was quite something. Had a great time. I don't want to complain, but that was, man, y'all really ring those things. I swear to God, I felt like I was in a Tractor Supply store on Black Friday, which it was Black Friday.
I don't get that joke. You made that joke online. I don't get it.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't. There's cowbells and farm equipment in there.
Why does farm equipment?
Because it's always, if you've been to Tractor Supply, it's loud.
Is a cowbell actually for a cow?
I guess. I don't know. Have you never been to Tractor Supply before? Okay, well then you wouldn't get the joke. So it's loud. It's loud in the stadium. Yes, it's very loud in the stadium. That was the point of the joke.
No, I mean, it was loud in a Tractor Supply store?
It is if you go into them sometimes. Yes.
What's loud about them?
It's just loud in the store.
That's like a fact.
Yeah, that's why people were laughing at it, because it's a fact.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to write a list of things I say before and explain them to you, and then you can be like, "You want to ask me that?"
Never heard of that before.
Anyway, whatever. It was loud, Lindsey, as you saw.
I ran into my new BFF. She doesn't know it yet, but Mary Ryan Brown. I don't know if any of you follow her. If you don't, please go follow her. She's hilarious. She's this local comedian, Mary Ryan Brown.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's never heard of her until I saw you run into her.
I've sent you many of her videos.
I just didn't remember her name. Anyway, Lindsey, there's this lady who walks by, this blonde lady, and she walks by, and Lindsey yells something about "be blessed," and I'm like,
"Be blessed."
I thought it was some sorority thing from the '80s that she would do or something. I was like, "What are you?"
I wasn't even in a sorority,
but
you
I mean,
know that.
it just seemed like that because you were like two pretty girls running into each other at a football game, and they'd say some phrase. I'm like, it's obviously like a sorority thing I don't understand, and it apparently was not. It was a local comedian that's popular on the internet that Lindsey has sent me her stuff, and
she's hilarious. Y'all have to go follow her.
Yeah,
she's so funny.
I'm sure she is. I've not really paid attention, but I hear that she's great. So anyway, but she was very excited to see her, and after that the game was of no consequence. So, but anyway, we had a great time, and thanks to Clay. But the point of what we're going to get into here,
and hotty toddy, they did win, by the way.
They did win. It seems like irrelevant at this point though, after Sunday.
Don't say that.
After Sunday stuff. So what we got right now is Lane is going to LSU. The Tigers stole him away from all of us here, and he has broken all of our hearts. We might want to sue LSU for alienation of affection because Lane is gone. And there's a big controversy in the state right now, and even in the national media, Lindsey, talking about how do you feel about whether you would have allowed him to coach the playoffs. And let me kind of set that up this way. So Ole Miss has not had this kind of success since John F. Kennedy was president. Literally, has not had this kind of success.
I don't think we've ever had this. This is the best season that we've ever had.
I think there was they claimed a share of the national title in 1960 or 61 before black people could play football, as we always say. That's when Ole Miss had something.
That doesn't count, man.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't count. So that's how long it's been. So this is pretty much the greatest season in Ole Miss history. And now you've clinched a playoff spot. And the question is, you're going into it without your head. The guy who made it possible.
When's the last time we went to the playoffs?
We've never been to the playoffs.
Never?
This is the first time ever. Right. So this is the greatest season in Ole Miss history, pretty much.
Who's the only team that beat us?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going into that. And Lane, yesterday, one of his arguments with Keith Carter, who's the athletic director at Ole Miss, was that he wanted to remain with the team to coach throughout the playoffs. Now, of course, Keith Carter said, we're not going to let you do that because obviously that's going to hurt us with recruiting. You're going to be working for LSU and us at the same time. Look, he had I understand everybody on that side of the aisle while they're arguing that they should not have let Lane coach. I get those arguments. There's the transfer portals in, I think, the first 2 weeks of January 2nd through the 15th, I believe. And then the signing period starts tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, December 2nd. So, I mean, he'd be competing against who he's coaching right now for his new team. And that's a lot of things. That's a lot about it. It's like, you're going to be competing against us, and that's our rival. LSU, even though historically we're a rival to them, they always end up winning because they're LSU. I mean, they've had much more success than Ole Miss has had, but they're still a rival. And did you want that, or did you want to roll with Lane and see if you could get a national title? And that's kind of been the whole debate. And I see the national media is on one side of it, and locally some people are saying, no way should he coach. It's our pride. And then some people are saying, yeah, we want him to coach because we want to win. So I don't know, Lindsey, where do you fall? I guess my question is that.
I think after the way he jerked everyone around for the last few weeks, he basically ruined any chance Ole Miss had at recruiting another very sought after head coach.
Yeah.
I think it was disrespectful. I think that it was wrong. And so I can't imagine after being hurt by someone like that you could allow them to continue to coach, to continue to have the players' ears, number one, to continue to be able to talk to them. I mean, who knows? His whole reasoning for wanting to do that could be to poach players and basically to take down this great team from the inside. And I think it could lead to a disaster. First of all, I think it's a respect issue, number one. We don't want you here anymore.
Yeah.
And then number two, what are your motives?
Well, I mean, I think, I do. I think he could take player. I think he's going to do that anyway if he wants to. I mean, I think they're going to go with him if they want to. I don't think it's going to matter whether he's coaching here or not. I think he's already poached the offensive staff a great deal of it. He's done that. So it's going to be a skeleton crew that you got going into the first playoff game. That means if we even go to the playoff game, and I'll get to that in a minute. So you've got that problem already in my mind. He's already going to poach players. He's already poached the offensive staff.
But you're making it that much easier for him.
Well, I mean, I think he's still got the relationships over the course of the last 6 years and with all these folks. And now not the team as much because the team is primarily a transfer portal team. But I think that he could do that anyway. But yes, I mean, I get it. But even the new recruits, people that are going to sign with Ole Miss, he's going to maybe try to divert them. I get all those arguments to that. It makes sense. But then what you said is respect, right? Well, I
Yeah.
think that's the problem. We're in this new era of college football where we're conflating emotion with business, I think. And that's the problem. Where college football now is a business. It's not based on emotion. For the fans, yes, it's emotion. But for the players and the coaches and the schools, it's business.
Everything I do runs off emotion.
I mean, so but that's what people are doing right now. Like I hear there's this cheating spouse analogy. And then what the analogy is that if we were allowed Lane to coach in the
Russ
playoffs,
Latino.
well, not just Russ. I listened to it. Russ did write that, but and they may have stolen it from him on Twitter because people have been poaching things from him on Twitter, but it's all over ESPN and everything. They're using this, if we allowed Lane to coach, it would be like your wife cheating on you and you allowing her back in the house, like that kind of thing. But I mean, I don't think that makes any sense because a marriage assumes a lifelong partnership. The relationship is the thing. College football coaching is not a lifelong relationship. It's most likely going to be periodic. It's not going to be last forever. Now, if Lane Kiffin was not doing well, he'd be gone and they'd be talking about firing him. So, I mean, to me, that relationship analogy just doesn't hold water. It's a business relationship, not a personal relationship.
I understand that, Shaun. But then again, he just did this documentary and he's talking about how happy he and his family are in Oxford. He gave everybody the impression that he was here for the long haul, that
Sure
he
he
would
did.
be here for the foreseeable future, at
Yeah.
least, especially when you've coached this team to the playoffs and you have a chance at a national championship here. And then you just so blatantly disrespect all of that. And then yesterday we saw LSU's private planes fly into Oxford to pick him up and whisk him away. And I just think all of it is just a slap in the face.
I mean, I'm not saying, look, it is. As an Ole Miss fan, I hate it. Man, I hate Lane right now. I used to love him. I
Mhm.
hate Lane right now. As an Ole Miss fan, me looking at my fan hat on, yes, I'm mad, right? Okay. It sucks. He treated us like crap. There's no doubt about that. But my point is this, that's an emotional response. A business response is like, do we use him to win a national championship? And that's kind of where I'm falling on it. Like, I feel like you take the risk because let's put it this way. We're most likely not going to be back here in our lifetime. I mean, it's a possibility. It could happen.
You don't know that.
I mean, it had happened since before we were born, like 20 years before we were born. I mean, it's not something that occurs. Ole Miss, no matter what you say, has been a nationally irrelevant program before Lane Kiffin. It just has. And was not ever relevant except for a few years for
Hugh
Freeze, and
did
they
a
were
really
paying
well job.
players
Yeah.
though. I mean, and they were getting them hookers. I mean, they had to do a lot of different things, and that was before you were allowed to pay players. So I mean, Lane built this thing here. Whatever way you want to look at it, everybody doesn't want to admit that to themselves today. He did.
No, I don't think anybody's not admitting that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty much, you can look at it and tell that that's exactly what happened. I just don't think he deserves the chance to go and win a national championship with us after doing us so dirty.
But I guess I just think it's not so much about him, what he deserves. It's what do we deserve? Do we have deserve the chance to win one? Because right now I can tell you we're going to be one and done.
But do
with
you
this.
think?
I mean, even if they allow us in, and we'll get in that in the next segment. But yeah,
Do you even think though that the team would be unified under him right now?
I think a lot of the team are mercenaries too. Most of them are transfer portal kids. They were here for the money. There's a lot of that going on.
I think that there's a lot of them who probably feel betrayed.
I'm sure there's some that
And
feel
so
that
how
way.
could they really perform under him? I think they may have weighed all of those issues to decide, what they were going to let him do and what they weren't going to let him do.
I think they obviously weighed them. I think Ole Miss weighed more the emotional respect response, which I think if you're Ohio State or Alabama, you can take that role. You can say, you know what, bye Lane, but because they're going to have a shot next year. But if you're Ole Miss, this is your shot right now, today. You got your shot. And so, okay, if you want to say, look, it's my pride's more important than my shot to the national championship, that's fine. I mean, that's a position everyone wants to take. I get it. And I don't necessarily have a problem with that. I guess you have to decide what's the most important thing. I feel like hurt feelings will die and national championship lasts forever. But we'll get back to that on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Y'all stay tuned. Stay tuned.
1039 WYAB. Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Nick Fain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Some of the best parts about being home for the holidays are sharing stories, sharing gifts, and sharing a slice of pizza you crave the most. Like the classic Pizza Kitchen from Johnny's Pizza House, topped with 11 legendary ingredients. It's the main course on everyone's wish list. Need a gift for that hard to buy person in your life? Get them a Johnny's Pizza House gift card and go from good friend to best friend. They may even end up sharing it with you. Share a slice of home this holiday season with Johnny's Pizza House.
Hi, everyone. This is Matt Wasilowski, owner and general manager of 1039 WYAB. How much money does the state of Mississippi spend on advertising? A little over $10 million each and every year. Apparently, some people think that it's vitally important for the state of Mississippi to promote the Memorial Stadium, the Department of Marine Resources, soybean and rice products, MDOT, the State Fair, and the worst category of all, miscellaneous advertising expenditures for who knows what. And who pays for it all? In most cases, you, the taxpayer. I find that absolutely abhorrent. That's why 1039 WYAB refuses to accept advertising dollars from state government agencies. If you ever do hear a state agency advertising on WYAB, we're not getting paid for it. We stay on the air due to the support of the many businesses that you hear advertising every day on 1039 WYAB. So I only ask that you please tell our advertisers that you appreciate their support of 1039 WYAB. And keep listening.
Hey, Rankin County, swing by the locally owned and award-winning 042 Wine and Spirits on Highway 80 next to Sonny's Barbecue in Brandon today. We've got one of the largest selections around with over 200 bourbons and whiskeys to ignite your taste buds, more than 50 vodkas, 50-plus tequilas, 30-plus rums, and ready-to-drink cocktails, as well as premium scotches. And get this, we've got over 400 wines in stock for the perfect pairing anytime. Discover your new favorites today at 042 Wine and Spirits right next to Sonny's Barbecue, Highway 80, Cross Gates, Brandon.
Here's a word from John White, the owner of Two Gun Tactical in Flowood and Ridgeland.
I carry a gun every day, all the time. Last year in America, 2 million legal guns were pulled and it stopped the threat. So I'm really wearing a firearm just to stop the threat. There's more likelihood of me just pulling it and not using it than there is using it. TwoGunTactical.com, TwoGunTactical.com.
Two Gun Tactical, the South's only country club.
Our flag was still there. The official 250th celebration flag is available at a complete flag source on I-55 North in Jackson. It's just one way you can show your appreciation for the greatest country on earth. Flags for all occasions, international and state flags too.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show discussing the Lane Kiffin drama.
We made some people mad about the Cowboys.
Oh, what were they mad about? Tell me.
They said it's music to their ears.
Hey, look, if you're a State fan, I'm sure you love it. I mean, it pisses all the Ole Miss fans off. It's you're immune to it. I get it. If I was a State fan, I'd be sitting there ringing it right next to somebody's head. I mean, I don't blame them for that.
So this is one
That's
time
not hate on that. I get why they're doing it.
This is one time when I'm sure Clay is thankful that he can't hear great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? I gotta give props and kudos to Clay because we had no idea it was going to be so insane trying to park when we got to the to the Egg Bowl.
Right.
I think we drove around for an hour and a half.
Something like that.
Try to get in a parking spot. And then this person, I guess, directing traffic, if you can even call it that, was so ugly to us and yelled at us. And I could just feel like I was in the backseat. I could just feel the fury rising up in me, the way that he spoke to us, because I think Clay went the wrong way down like a bus route or something. But Clay remained completely calm and said, well, while I've got your attention, can you tell me how to get here, here, and here? And I was like, wow, Clay, I'm impressed.
Yeah, that guy was a jerk.
He was a real jerk.
That was a jerk, man. Anyway, but everybody in Starkville was great, all kidding aside, except for the cowbells.
And people did wear dresses and boots.
They did.
Shaun didn't believe me.
Yeah, Lindsay went and bought a dress that appeared to be a powder blue Bond girl dress from the 60s, which I guess is appropriate considering last time Ole Miss won a national championship was around that time that dress would have been popular. So I made a lot of fun of that.
Yes, he's like, nobody's going to be dressed up.
Well, I just didn't know. I mean, I'd never been to a game in Starkville. I've been to a million games in Oxford, and I just assumed that wasn't passed over there. That tradition of wearing and I'll hate on Ole Miss. I always thought it was stupid that people get dressed up for a football game. So I can hate on my own side. I'm good at doing that. I always hate on Democrats as equally as Republicans sometimes. So I could not stand. I'm like, why are people wearing dresses and ties to a football game? I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
I understood the assignment.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just Molly's been mine. But I went to Ohio State for undergrad, which was just like hoodies and cold weather gear because it was so cold most of the time. So when I went to law school and everybody was wearing dresses and ties, I was like, what is this? I just thought it was weird. Anyway, but I know the Ole Miss people hate on me for that. I used to complain when I was there all the time.
But it was also state girls.
Yeah, so some of them do that too. So anyway, teach your own. Ring a cowbell, wear a dress. I don't care. It doesn't affect my life. Anyway, what does affect everybody's life seems to be the Lane Kiffin drama. And what might affect Ole Miss fans based on their position of like what you were saying about respect and pride is what happens with the college football playoff selection committee. And so interesting enough, the committee can take into account that Lane is not the coach and that some of the assistants left. That's what's called one of the relevant factors.
And then not place them where they would have.
They could either knock them down or take them out of the playoffs entirely. Now, there's precedents for this too.
Take them out entirely?
They did that to Florida State in 2023. Now, of course, there were less playoff games then. I think it was 4 in 2023. I think that's right. So they did that then, or maybe they did more than 4. I can't exactly remember, but it was less than the 12 format they're in now. But they took them because the quarterback of FSU was injured and then out for the rest of the season. So they considered that to be a relevant factor where they kicked them out entirely. So
I disagree with that on so many levels. This team has earned their way to this playoff game. If they take it away from them, I mean, how do you do that to these kids?
I mean, Florida State was 13-0. They were the ACC champion. Their QB,
and they didn't get a playoff game
because the committee dropped them from number 4 to out. They were the first undefeated Power 5 team ever excluded.
How many? The top what gets to the playoffs? The top.
It's 12, right? I think it's 12 teams, right? I think that's right. Yeah. So I mean, it is possible that because of Lane's departure and the ones he poached, that they kick him out entirely.
But
I mean,
do you think that had we allowed him to stay and coach in the playoffs, they still could have done that, right? They still could have looked at the fact that he is leaving. From what I read,
I think they could have done that, but I don't think it would have weighted as heavily as him not being there and those assistants. Because you're talking about right now, not only did he leave, but a lot of the offensive assistants like Charlie Weiss Jr. left and with him. So you've got a skeleton crew there running this with a new head coach, Pete Golding. By all accounts, he's got a good resume, but he's never been a head coach. He's 41 years old. He's got a good defensive resume. He was at Alabama for about 5 years. He's from Hammond, Louisiana, actually. Went to Delta State. Good guy from all accounts, but no head coaching experience. Apparently, he's a heck of a recruiter from everything I've read. He might be, in the future, we'll see what he becomes. So Can
you imagine your very first gig at head coaching and all of a sudden you're in the playoffs?
Yeah, you're in the playoffs. So I
bet he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders right now.
Oh, I'm sure it is. And I think, Ole Miss decided to create some stability immediately in anticipation of what the committee might do. So at least they can say, hey, we've got a head coach. He's our permanent head coach, right? And he's there. We're not going around scrambling, looking for somebody because we've already lost out on the coaches from Tulane. And
thanks, Lane.
Yeah, and that went to Florida. So I think they did that to create some stability, and hopefully that would weigh in the committee's mind. But don't be shocked because the committee, they very easily can do this because you have now a really good case for Texas, who's got 3 losses. I understand that, but one of their losses is to Ohio State, which was the first game of the season, right? And it was a tough game for them to take on. It's what's considered a good loss. So you've got that problem where Texas is making a strong case for a spot. They've beat 3 top 10 teams this season. Texas has, and they got a case. I mean, and you don't have Lane anymore. What? It could happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen, but it's a possibility that people need to consider that could. Don't be surprised if it does happen because
As
it's happened
mad
before.
as the Ole Miss fans are right now at Lane
Yep.
Kiffin, can you imagine how much more mad they are going to be if that does play out?
Oh, I mean, it's going to be bad. I mean, if Ole Miss gets kicked from even if they get dropped in their seeding or the ranking, they're going to be mad about that, which I think that's going to happen most likely. But if they get excluded entirely, oh man, it's horrible. It's a horrible thing. I mean, that was what I asked that question on social media early this morning. I said, if you knew that Ole Miss was going to get dropped from the playoff, that the committee was going to evaluate the factor of Lane's departure and his staff, would you agree to allow him coach? And I think most people probably would at that point. Are going to forego the entire playoffs based on pride.
I mean, if they thought or if they knew for a fact that if you don't let him coach, we're not going to the playoffs, then of course they would have let him.
Yeah, I think people would have. That's when you put pride aside, right? At that point, if you're out of the playoffs entirely, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think that team deserves to go to the playoffs, and you're going to make sure that they can play in the game they deserve to play in. I still just think it's just
But in that, what you're also saying though, in that scenario, Lane is the best choice to coach that team in the playoffs, right?
no, that's not what I'm saying.
No, you're just saying because the committee would weight it
I'm saying
whichever way they would.
I'm saying if we knew for a fact that we would be kicked out of the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
then of course they would let him. I think
Okay.
that's a no-brainer. But I'm not saying he's the best person to coach in the playoffs, no, because I think there are a lot of hurt feelings, and I think that the team really be unified under him right now, knowing that he's not staying?
I think they could. I think a lot of them were transfer guys anyway. I mean, I think they may transfer next year. I think they absolutely do. They want to have a national championship. I think they'll go fight for a national championship. I mean, and I think that's also where, if you've been a fan of college football for a long time, yet there's this emotional attachment to the old way of college football. Now we're in the business era of it. I mean, it's always been a business era. It was just the schools and the coaches made money. Now everybody's making money, and the
See
TV
how well
stations
that's
and
working
whatnot.
out.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair for the students the student athletes to be able to cash into what these guys. I mean, because look at the examples. I mean, this was happening before Lane Kiffin, just in different ways. Like the coaches in the schools didn't give a crap about the student athletes. Like they didn't care at all. But they just didn't have to get paid any money. So
How do we fix this moving forward? I mean, do we put a date on it? Like, if you're going to leave, you have to tell us by this time. How do you stop this?
That's exactly what you got to do. They have to change. They have to turn this into an NFL, basically. They have to have a specific calendar of when these things can occur. Like schools cannot, the SEC could do this even without the NCAA. Like they could say you cannot poach other SEC school coaches till after the season's completed. They could do that. They could pass a rule like that. The NCAA could do that. They could set up a calendar when this is the coach hiring period, like at February 1st to whenever.
Why haven't they done that?
I don't, that's a good question. I don't really know. I'm going to look that up. I'm not sure why that's not happened. Now they changed the transfer portal periods that it was prior to January. I believe it was like in December or November. Now it's January 2nd to like the 16th or something like that. But I mean, that's not really helping anybody either. So they just have their dates done really wrong. The transfer portal period really should be moved to like April-ish, is kind of what's.
And that's when players transfer?
Yeah, when they can transfer, right. So if it's moved to April, they're thinking, that'll take a lot of what's going on now, like transferring, putting the portal before the playoffs and all that stuff out of the equation. So like they're hoping that they could push it to April, but they need to have a set calendar. Like
I agree. And Nick Saban has spoken out about this.
He's the one. Yeah. He's been
real vocal.
He has. And I think that's we got to start treating this like it's professional football, because it is. And there needs to be specific rules that's going to make this a lot more efficient. So you don't have a Lane Kiffin. Because also, on the flip side of that, what's Lane supposed to do? Like what there's not a choice there. I mean, he could have acted better. I get all that. He could have behaved. He could have handled this a lot better.
Yeah, he could have been transparent.
But if he wanted to go to LSU, he had to go now. Like that was the only choice he had. If that was a decision he wanted to make, then he had to go now. So I mean, he couldn't have waited. So I think that's something you have to take into account on his side, even though he handled it poorly. That's why I think college football needs to change its calendar, and then this would never happen again. But we'll discuss the rest of it on the next segment of the Lindsey Beckham Show. Stay tuned. Beckham Show. Stay tuned.
WYAB.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering Day and Night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With Day and Night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Hey there, pizza lovers. It's time for family, fun, and mouth-watering moments. Gift the taste of Johnny's Pizza House. Our gift cards are the ideal treat for those you love. Warm their hearts and their bellies this holiday season. Whether it's a family gathering or just a cozy winter evening, Johnny's Pizza House is always a hit. And who knows, they might even invite you over for a slice. Visit johnnysph.com/gift cards today. Gift memories, gift joy, gift Johnny's. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of joy.
CBS News Brief. After more questions about strikes on alleged drug boats, President Trump is holding a White House meeting. Here's Stacey Lynn.
President Trump is expected to convene with key members of his cabinet and national security team in the Oval Office around 5, presumably to discuss the increased pressure campaign on Venezuela.
The holiday is over, but the travel headaches continue. Meteorologist Jessica Birch on the weather issues.
59 million Americans right now. We're all feeling the brunt of the storm as we're gearing up for winter weather advisories widespread from Oklahoma all the way up into the Ohio Valley and all the way up into the Northeast New England areas too.
This is Cyber Monday, and Amazon warehouses are busy. Meg Oliver is at one in New Jersey.
It is the size of 28 football fields. 3,000 employees are here trying to get millions of products out the door to you today.
At its peak tonight, consumers could spend $16 million per minute. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
This is Lori at the Mailroom Gluckstadt with exciting news. We now offer photo services and large format printing, such as banners, yard signs, blueprints, and canvas prints. We also print business cards, invitations, photos, and more. And with the holidays coming fast, let us print your Christmas cards. Many projects may be ready the same day, and the Mailroom Gluckstadt is still your place for shipping, drop-offs, and gift wrapping. Visit us at 272 Calhoun Station Parkway, across from Callaway's in Gluckstadt. MailroomGluckstadt.com.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
Dr. Mike Stonington here from Stonington Farm Grass-Fed Beef. Here in South Mississippi on Stonington Farm, our steers are grass-fed and grass-finished. No grain, no hormones, no antibiotics, no mRNA vaccines. Our grass-fed and grass-finished beef is straight from our farm to your table. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, and at StoningtonFarm.com. That's StoningtonFarm.com with 2 N's. And we deliver every 4 weeks to the Jackson area. We are the grass.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show discussing the Lane Kiffin drama that has engulfed the entire state of Mississippi, Lindsey.
The country, I
The
believe.
country, yeah, the country too, actually. I guess we just feel it harder here because it affects us so much, especially as Ole Miss fans. But we were talking about the college calendar and how that impacts all this stuff. You know, I know I was trying to explain some of that to you in the car ride this weekend and where, you know, that how that is what the factor that really contributed to pushing Lane's decision, him having to go now and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, that's the, you know, college football has like created a system where the most important games are played with the least stable rosters and coaching staff. Like no real sport operates like this, the way they've set it up, where you've got the signing period during bowl prep. And then there's a transfer portal during the bowl games and whatnot and so forth. So, I mean, it's just, it's a bad calendar. And I think, so if Lane's going to go, he had no choice but to go now based on what that calendar is. I mean, so that part you can't really blame him for.
Oh, I can. And I do.
Well, I mean, I'm saying if he's going to take the job, which he has a right
Which
to
he shouldn't
do.
have.
Well, I mean, see, I don't think anybody can say he shouldn't have. I mean, he has a right to, I mean, if he was losing, they'd fire him. Now he's done really well and he's getting, I mean, let's just put it this way. LSU is a better job than Ole Miss. It is a far better job. No matter what anybody wants to say, far better job. It is. I mean, there's.
I mean, you might think so.
I mean, it's not me just think so. Everybody in the country thinks so. We got a call. Let me answer real quick. Hello, caller.
Well, it's been a fun weekend, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Kingfish.
Hey, Kingfish.
Hello.
How you doing?
Did you say I met my
better
bestie
mood.
at the Egg Bowl?
Yeah, I saw it. I'm in a better mood than the Ole Miss fans are, that's for sure.
I know you are because you're an LSU fan.
Oh,
So.
you would call it.
Yeah.
Fanatic.
I'll tell you what, Kingfish, that is going to be the game of the season next year. I think that's the one everybody is going to want to go to is the Ole Miss LSU game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we went through all this back in 2004 with Nick Saban when he left. I mean, he broke our hearts, believe me. I mean,
Yeah, State went through it with Mullen. You know, State saw that with Mullen.
Him. Yeah, but it ain't the same thing as losing Nick Saban. And then when he announced that he was going to Alabama 2 years later from Sean's favorite team, the Dolphins, oh boy, they were fired up for that first game. And of course, Nick Saban was unkind enough to come to Death Valley and win that game the first time.
Yeah.
That wasn't very nice of him.
Well,
No.
Kingfish, see, I'm trying to explain to Lindsay because she operates based on emotion. LSU, I know you're a fan and you're biased, but I'm not an LSU fan, and I'm going to say this is a far better job than Ole Miss. That's just a fact. There's just no other way to look at it.
And okay, and let me try to explain because Lindsay's not the only one wondering why or whatever. If you look, first of all, a lot of it's about recruiting. Even with NIL and portals and all that crap, recruiting still matters, okay? And we have per capita high school players in Mississippi, number one in the country, all that stuff. When you look at the actual raw numbers, like how many do we actually produce? First dozen players, they are just as good as anywhere else. Seriously, they really are. When you go now, after the first dozen, you start seeing a drop-off. Third dozen, big drop-off. You go to Louisiana, and I mean, they had enough players for Nick Saban at Bama and LSU to recruit and go to championships at the same damn time, okay? It's like Florida or Texas. They have so much more talent there. You can recruit there. Whereas at Ole Miss, the way Lane's been able to do it is he's had to go out and do NIL, and you've got to do it every damn year because if you don't get that transfer portal class, you're
But that's what they're all doing now.
They're all doing, but what I'm saying is, but recruiting is still important. Not as important as before, but it's still pretty important though. And
I think the bottom line here is that LSU has more money.
Well, I mean, Ole Miss was matching their money. Ole Miss was
Ole Miss was actually matching them on the money.
Yeah.
They just announced that they're going to give Lane Kiffin $1 million should Ole Miss win the national championship, or they're going to pay him those bonuses that he would have made.
Well, as Shaun can tell you, go by the contract. What does the contract say?
Yeah, I mean that's what they offered.
It all comes down to the contract, and Ole Miss has got very sharp lawyers. Okay, trust me. I've dealt with them, and if there's a way to wiggle out of that, paying it.
No, I mean LSU is going to pay him that.
Oh well, okay.
Well, I tell you what,
more power to them. It's called goodwill.
Kingfish, onto your recruiting thing. I mean, Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin, his highest recruiting class was ranked 17, right? And
Yeah.
Brian Kelly.
And when you recruited LSU, if you're good at it, like Orgeron and Miles were, you're like coming in top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every year. I mean, those two guys, you're recruiting as well as Saban was at Alabama.
And that's the thing.
Kiffin never really could do that at Ole Miss. Now, he did recruit pretty well at USC and Tennessee.
Sure, but
at Ole Miss, it's hard.
It's hard. And also, Brian Kelly, who you know this better than I do, was not considered to be a workaholic. And he was able to out-recruit that, kind of just mailing it in.
But did he end up with a better team?
No, he did not.
Exactly.
We're talking about recruiting here, though. So
but if you look at the rosters, Lindsay, I mean, you can look at the two rosters and see what the problem was, which was coaching, or I should say lack of it. Oh, by the way, you ready for this one? Guess who's coming back to LSU?
Who?
Orgeron.
Oh, is he really? I thought I was hoping he'd come to Ole Miss and there'd be a return of Coach O versus
he's coming
Lane.
back as a defensive line coach, which he's very good at, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
And also probably going to be in charge of recruiting, which he is very good at.
And Lane needs the help on that because he is not good at that. That is
at
not
the
his
end of
thing.
the day, it just matters who has the better team.
Well, yeah, of course.
That's who's going to win.
I totally agree with you. I mean, and that's what happened when Ole Miss played LSU this year. LSU had a roster. Ole Miss had a team. Guess who won? I mean, you guys were rushing 3 on 6 and sacking the quarterback. I mean, you want to hear how bad it was at LSU this year? This is how lazy the coaches were. They didn't start doing, the linemen didn't start doing sleds till 2 weeks ago. No lie.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've heard about Brian Kelly. Like, he was just a lazy dude and didn't really,
And they finally started doing them 2 weeks ago. And notice what happened Saturday? They had Oklahoma, sack leader in the country, had 0 sacks. Gee, funny how that works when you actually put in the work, right?
And I think that, a lot of people in this state don't want to hear this, and I hate hearing it as an Ole Miss fan, but I think Lane is going to really hit his stride at LSU. I mean, he's going to recruit. He's going to have the money. I think it's going to be
I
a danger.
get where Lindsay's coming from. Okay, I really
Karma.
do. I mean,
Karma is a what.
We've been there because it doesn't always work that way because we said that about Nick Saban. Show me where the karma was.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I mean, I'm not being facetious, Lindsay, but I'm being, but where was the karma? Because you think we liked it. I mean, look at how many players Alabama had that he won with that were coming from our backyard in Louisiana.
Right.
Like Devontae Smith, for example. I mean, there were others. Surtain's another one. And I mean, he kept on cleaning our clocks and recruiting in Louisiana way too often. So, I mean, sometimes the karma don't work. And I think Lane will leave LSU eventually. He'll get a better job. He wants Alabama, of course, but they don't want him, and they never will after Saban fired him.
No, and
I suspect one day he'll jump to the pros.
The alumni doesn't want him there either. I think that's a big issue with Alabama. But
where I think Ole Miss messed up was they knew for at least 2 weeks that Kiffin was looking to LSU and elsewhere. Okay, they knew it. So why didn't he have a backup plan in place? I mean,
well, I heard that they were starting conversations and that it upset Lane. I mean, obviously.
I have no doubt, but you do some of that without talking to him either. You're calling the agents up and you're going, hey, we may have an opening here. We got to get ready for this just in case. Who do you have? Who do you have that's interested? I mean, Sumrall would have been a good one up at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't able to get him or Gold. They just waited too long, and the good ones were all getting snapped up by other schools. I mean, they could have gotten Sumrall if they started working on this last week.
Right.
I'm sorry. I'm not wild about Golding.
Well, I mean, he's untested. He seems to be a pretty efficient recruiter and defensive coach from everything I've read. I mean,
he's a okay defensive coach. I mean, you could argue that Saban's defense has got worse under him. I mean, he's okay.
I mean, definitely.
I'll take Blake Baker at LSU over him any day of the week.
But now they don't. I mean, the only offensive staff Ole Miss has left for the playoff run is Joe Judge, who used to be the head coach of the New York Giants. Of course, I think he was the quarterbacks coach this year at Ole Miss.
Yeah, he was the quarterbacks coach.
Let me hit this with you.
Remember, you still got all these analysts on staff. I mean, they've still got other offensive coaches there. They'll just have them step up. Let
me run through this spot. We talked about this the last segment, Kingfish. There's a chance that the committee can take this into account and drop Ole Miss entirely from the playoff. What do you think about those odds?
They're not getting one loss. They're not getting dropped. Same team, no injuries. They're not getting dropped.
What about the FSU example from 2 years ago?
Didn't they have somebody hurt though?
But you had a game where, yes, they won the championship game, but because they were playing with third string, they played much worse. You could see the difference on the field. You don't have that here, and they've already said we don't have a data point to go by. We're not going to go by it. The real problem here is the NCAA with this stupid calendar.
Yeah,
I mean, because like when Saban left LSU in 2004, I mean, it was, remember, Christmas Day, within 2 weeks, they got Les Miles, and then they were able to sign him was not till February, so they were still able to save the class and actually added a couple of guys. Okay, now what's happened is you got this stupid ass date pushed up to this week, and then you got the portal at the end of the year. So guess what? You've got to fight now. You got to fire your coaches like in mid-season now or early in the season. Then you got to go try to steal coaches from other rosters, and some of them, like 2 of them this year, not just Kiffin, but some were on playoff runs. I mean.
It just makes it so dirty, in my opinion.
So mad about, huh?
It makes it so dirty, in my opinion.
Very much so. I mean, so in a way, yeah, it's Kiffin's fault, but really, it's the system because under the old way, you would have been he'd have coached all the way through. He probably would have coached the playoff, and then he would have left when they lost or won or whatever, and then you would have found your coach, and the bad blood would not be like it is now. There's bad blood, and I don't think these idiots in the NCAA had any idea this sort of stuff would happen. But if they don't fix it, and that's why Saban's pushing so hard for it, you're going to see more and more of this.
Yeah,
I mean, no two ways about it. I mean, because that's what the incentive is. I mean, if you're hiring a coach, you don't want to hire a loser, you want to hire a winner. Well, guess what? The winner's going to be probably
playing in the playoffs. Yeah,
that's who you want. That's who you want. Well, hey, Kingfish, we appreciate it. We're going to go to the next segment. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Thanks, Kingfish.
Bye.
Mississippi's premier land and home real estate resource. With land, you can create the lifestyle that you desire, whether it's a home, farm, or recreational getaway. Land means space for memories and a legacy for you and your loved ones. Tom Smith Land and Homes has homes as well as acreage, hunting, and timber properties available throughout Mississippi and the Southeast. Visit TomSmithLandandHomes.com and invest in land and your future today.
Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association wants you to stay away from downed power lines. Downed power lines carry the risk of deadly electric shock, even if the broken wire is not sparking. If a wire is crossing a road or driveway, avoid the area and keep others away. If you see a downed power line, back away and call your utility company or 911. When you call, be prepared to provide the specific address or location of the downed power line so a repair crew can get there as quickly as possible. This safety message brought to you by Yazoo Valley Electric Power Association.
Looking to elevate your ride? Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck have you covered. From rugged bumpers to sleek step bars, Weston's top-notch accessories will transform your truck into a head-turner. And at Rick's Pro Truck, we specialize in custom installations that bring your vision to life. Visit us today for expert advice and unbeatable deals. Weston Automotive and Rick's Pro Truck, where your truck's potential comes alive. Weston and RPT. Trucks live here.
Business owners, tired of drowning in payroll, compliance, and back office headaches? ePolice has your back. ePolice can free you from the never-ending grind of employee administration, such as time and attendance, onboarding, background checks, even business insurance. While you focus on growing your business, ePolice handles the paperwork. Stop stressing and start succeeding. Partner with ePolice, locally based in Ridgeland. Visit ePolice.com and get back to business.
We all plan to be on time, but fender benders, damaged windshield, and slick roads quickly disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design personal protection plans that work for you and help keep you on track. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Jamie Creel in Flora and Ridgeland, 601-992-6000.
ABS causes mass hysteria by providing office tech that actually does its job.
Relax. At Advantage Business Systems, we know office technology isn't that exciting, but we do know it is life-changing. Work life-changing, that is. Because the latest copiers, printers, mailing machines, and even telephone systems can keep your office running smoothly. Visit absms.com. Advantage Business Systems, helping your business do business.
Have you been injured through no fault of your own? Do you know your rights? Don Evans does. Do you really believe that the insurance company would disclose all information to you? Don Evans will make sure that you are fully informed. It costs nothing to discuss your case. From car wrecks to malpractice, Don Evans will make you and your family whole again. Don Evans won't ever charge unless he collects for you. Call Don for a free, no-obligation consultation at 601-969-2006.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner.
Come together right now.
And we're back on the Lindsey Beckham Show, continuing this discussion with on the Lane Kiffin drama. We were talking with Kingfish in the last segment. He brought in some really good information because he's a devoted, obsessive LSU fan, Lindsey. That's it. Hey, look, I'm trying to be objective here. I'm obviously upset. I want Ole Miss to win a national championship. I think it's going to be great. But I also understand the complexities of college football and what's gone on over the years, which, and people look at it like, well, why can't it go back to what it was? Well, it wasn't that great for everybody back then if you were an athlete. And we allowed this system to evolve into this monster. It's a mess now, no doubt about it. It's a total mess. Calendar's a mess. The way we paid players getting paid is a mess. I mean, it is a disaster. This transfer portal to me is the biggest problem. The way that's
because
set
they can
up.
just move from one place to another
Yeah.
every year or follow whatever coach they would.
They don't learn how to get built up in a system. And, young people between those ages, they just, they're like, oh, I'm not happy. Boom, I'm going to go. I mean, that's kind of the way it is.
And I mean, I thought college was supposed to be about education.
No, because the math majors don't bring in as much money to the university as football does. I mean, it's a business, and I'm glad that we're heading in the direction where we're understanding that this is a business. But I think we need to make rules. Let's stop thinking it's the emotional love of the game stuff anymore. Let's start treating it like the NFL. If we do that, I think everybody's gonna be a lot happier when we fully accept that this is a business. This is not the emotional college game that we once had in the past. I think we'll be set up far better. But just my opinion.
I don't know. I'm not happy about it. I think if you have morals and ethics and values, then you don't do stuff like this.
Yeah, no, I understand. And you don't, but you also, I mean, again, I keep bringing it back to like, they'd fire him or any other coach. I mean, it's all
That's
about
if you're not doing your job.
Yeah, well, no, that's if you're not winning. So if you're winning, like, then you got to be loyal. But if you're losing, they don't have to be loyal to you. I mean, so see what I'm saying? It's a business. It's not, just so now, okay, I mean, if he was 3-8, they wouldn't have to be loyal to him. And I get why not, but I mean, same thing.
But that's you're terminating a contract when someone's not doing their end of the deal.
Saying, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I'm
I think
sure
that's different.
we'll debate this more, and everybody will on ESPN and whatnot. But we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.